So today we're going to make a double exposure text effect in Photoshop. So this is the finished thing that we used to do, and that's the layer, as you can see. So the first thing I'm going to do here is to grab the image. So I'm going to open up, so I'll see how our image look like. So this is how the image look like. So I'm going to go ahead and close it. I'm going to drag it into Photoshop straight. I'm going to open it into a new window by dragging it inside of Photoshop, like so. The next thing for me to do is to cut out the image that I'm going to use from the background. So I'm going to use pencil to do that. But first of all, let me check the image. Let's choose a better place for us to make a selection. Let us choose a better angle. Alright, so let me just get my pencil. I'm going to look for my pencil right. Alright, so I'm going to get my pencil. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit. I'm just going to drag out. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. I'm just going to drag this out like so. I'm going to hold down Alt and discontinue that line. I'm going to drag it again. I'm just going to discontinue that line. So the next thing I'm going to do is to just do this real quick. So currently I'm passing this video so that you don't waste time in this particular section. So all you have to do is just to take your time and just select it. So in case you've not used the pencil before, so I'm going to leave a link in the description below so that you learn how to use the pencil. I have a video on that already. So I'm just going to cut it out straightly. I'm going to do all these corners and even all this liquid. I'm going to remove them as well. So next thing I'm going to do is to make a selection. I'm going to click on OK. So with the image selected, I'm going to first of all zoom in rather. I'm going to zoom a little bit. So I'm going to cancel my selection. Now if you check the image that we're selecting, you see that we have some white lines in the image. Now what we want to achieve is to make sure that our selection is back of the line. See that our selection is front of this line. We want it to be back of this line. So what we want to do is just to go back to select, go back to modify, and go back to construct. Now I want to reduce the selection and send it back to the that white line. So I'm going to take it by 2. Then click OK. So we're taking it by 2 pixels. So now if you look at it right now, the thing has gone back. I'm going to zoom out for now. So the next thing for me to do is to apply a vector mask or a layer mask, any I want to call it. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. I'm just going to drag this. So we want to check if there's any parts of the image which will not cut out. So everything seems okay. So click on the vector mask. So with that selected, I'm going to zoom out a little bit. And the next thing for me to do is to get my I'm going to duplicate it by clicking on Ctrl J, and I'm going to the next thing for me to do is to get my crop tool. Then I'm going to go to rotate and crop. I'm going to put in the width to 1280 width, and the height I'm going to set it at to 720. I'm going to set that at 720. So after setting that, I'm going to rotate it. I'm just going to click on. I'm just going to drag this thing now. I'm going to hold down Shift and Alt and just drag it like so. So after dragging it, I'll just click on my check mark. So when the image properly fits, I'm going to drag this. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. And now what I'm going to do here is to just I think this time around I need to add a solid color. So I want to create a background. I'm going to just choose white. Click on OK. As you can see, FFF stands for white. I'm going to click OK. I want to change this to BG for background. Just write BG and click OK. Alright, so the next thing for me to do is to hold down Ctrl T, that is Command T for Mac. I'm just going to reduce this. I'm just going to scale this, rotate it first of all. Alright, so that this will be perfect for the effect. I'm just going to reduce it a little bit, and I'll make sure that I put it to the center, just like so. Alright, I'm going to rotate it a little bit, just a little bit, and a little bit once more. Okay, and it's okay, so I'm going to click on OK right here. So the next thing for me to do is to zoom in. Of course, I'm going to hold down. I'm going to zoom out. Let me resize this again. increase the size, because we want the effect to be able to be visible properly, so everything will be visible for us to see. You know, scale this. I think it's better this way. You know, click on enter. Now the next thing for me to do is to apply layer marks. I think. Okay. So I'm going to apply layer marks. I'm going to right click. I'm going to right click there and just click on apply layer marks. So we've applied layer marks. If you look at the up one that we have, we've applied layer marks to it. So that black layer marks is off. I'm going to set my text to and just type NON and ME. Click enter and type ME. That is on me. Click my check mark and then use Ctrl T to increase the size. Just Ctrl T. Use Ctrl T. That is for the Ctrl T start for our free transforms. We want to transform this text. That is to increase and decrease it. So we use Ctrl T to do that. Click on OK. Now the next thing for me to do is to select that text and then change this to regular, because the text looks italics. So I'm going to change this one to impact. Just type impact there, select it, make sure that impact is selected. So I'm going to drop a link for the text as well, so that's why I download it. I'm going to drag this down a bit, drag this down. So but the color looks the black color that we are using is kind of disrupting the image, so I cannot. There are some parts that I won't see clearly. Alright, so I'm just going to place this right here. So I'm just going to set it properly. So so in case you don't like the color, there is a black color, you can always change it. You can always change the black color, but let me make sure that I place this properly. I'm going to click on OK. Alright, so it looks better this way. So if you don't like the color, you can always come here, just click here, come here and then change it to any color you want. Maybe white. Maybe white will be okay for you, but I don't want to change the color. I'm just going to leave it at black. So I'm just going to cancel it for now. Click on my check mark. Alright, so the next thing for me to do is to drag my text down. I want those two effects to be at the top. That is our image and the one that we cut. I'm going to drag the one apply with layer marks. So what I'm going to do is to click on shift, so hold down shift and click. And by holding down shift and click, we automatically disable the layer marks. So as you can see, this image selection has not been removed. Hold down Ctrl and just Alt and just click. So now after holding Alt and click, I'm adding what is called the clipping marks to the text. I'm directly adding the clipping marks to the text. So the next thing to do is to apply layer marks to the text above, and then I'm going to hold down Ctrl and just click. Holding down Ctrl and click is going to load the selection of the text that we have. I'm going to get my brush tool. I'm going to go to add brush 60. So I'm using an add brush of 60. So I'm select that. I'm also going to use my bracket key to make the text larger. I'm going to paint through the shape and just erase some parts. If you look at our layer mark, you see that we have some black dots right there. So the next thing to do is to invert the selection. So the selection has been inverted. I'm going to change my brush this time to let me see 48, but the same thing is still add brush though. So I'm going to use my bracket key, my right bracket key to increase this. I'm going to paint some parts away, some part that is kind of intersecting with the background image. I'm going to just wipe them away from the text. So I'm going to deselect that. So I'm going to have something just like this. So this is basically how the effect should look. So we should use the text to create something like a double exposure effect. Now another good thing is that the text is still kind of editable, so we can still change the name if we like. I'll write something like scuba diving. So yeah, I'm going to type diving. So you can still edit so you can still edit the text. So in case you don't really like that is the first name, so you can always change it. So something like this looks better, but I'm just going to leave it back to the default one. So this is basically how the effect should look like. So the next thing I'm going to do here is to double click on my background color. I'm going to sample some color from this so that I have something that looks alike to the background. I'm going to choose a lighter color from the color panel. Must be something that is like that, so that we can also see the text written on it. Something that is like that will work better for us. Alright. So go ahead and check for the S code. As you can see the S code written beneath. Check the S code and just type it in case you can't get the color perfectly on your computer. So guys, this is the end of the tutorial. So feel free to like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video.